Hi there. This one is an attempt to do a Spanish-style chicken stew, and the results were delicious. Spanish-style chicken and rice, or pollo y arroz con gandules. The chicken isn't exactly a Latin American recipe. It's a simple dish of chicken stewed in tomatoes using Latin American spices. On the other hand, arroz con gandules is one of the most popular rice dishes in the world, or at least half the world. It's considered the national dish of Puerto Rico, and it's one of those dishes you simply must try if you have a chance to do so. The total time for making this dish was about 2 hours, though most of it was simply simmering the chicken until it was falling off the bone. I do like how this turned out, and I hope this attempt at making arroz con gandules meets the standards of those of you who enjoy this dish. This dish doesn't require much preparation, just chopping up an onion and some garlic. There's a popular Spanish dish of stewed chicken that includes potatoes and carrots, but we're leaving those out here so we can serve the chicken and sauce over rice, and instead we're making a simple tomato sauce. We're using an enameled cast iron Dutch oven because even though an aluminum caldero is the traditional cooking pot of choice in many Latin American households, cooking a sauce with lots of tomatoes can affect the seasoning of an aluminum pot, or even a cast iron one. The sauce is no more than mixing common seasonings together, including sofrito, adobo, sazon, and cumin, and of course, a lot of cilantro and parsley. Once the cast iron pot is good and hot, we add our chicken pieces and brown both sides of the chicken. I prefer using dark meat because it has more flavor than chicken breast, and it's also less expensive. We don't have to cook the chicken all the way because we're going to be cooking it in the sauce for 2 hours. We add the onions and garlic to the pot and cook it all together until the onions are soft. And we add salt and pepper to both sides of the chicken. And that's all the preparation we need. It's time to add the sauce. We stir everything together, then we cover the pot and heat it at a low to medium heat for an hour and a half. After stewing the chicken for 90 minutes, we then uncover the pot and let it simmer for another hour to reduce the sauce and finish cooking the chicken. Several spices are needed for preparing arroz con gandules, and I find it useful to prepare the spices in advance so they can be quickly added to the pot. Latin American dishes love using large amounts of sazon and adobo, and I certainly have no problem with that. We may not have an aluminum caldero, but we have something just as good, a cast iron Dutch oven. This rice dish is a little different than most because we're going to start by preparing a roux in the same manner that we might make gravy or gumbo. That's why we begin by stir-frying the sofrito and then adding some tomatoes. This recipe is a little different because we use tomato paste rather than tomato sauce. This is so it intentionally mixes with the sofrito and becomes a thick roux. We add a little more oil to thin the roux a little and add our spices. And mixing them together once again makes for a thick roux. From here, we mix in a can of pigeon peas, which can be found in the international section of the supermarket. And once it's all mixed together, we stir in 2 cups of rice. Everything mixes together and takes on a color familiar with Spanish rice, and we don't even have to add food coloring to this dish. Now we add 4 cups of water and stir it around to mix it all together. All we have to do now is cover the pot and bring it to a boil. Because we're using cast iron, this only takes a few minutes. From here, we cover the pot once again, turn down the heat, and let the rice simmer for 20 minutes. Not bad. And our arroz con gandules is ready. By the way, it's important to know the rice stuck to the bottom of the pot is not burned rice. That may be the tastiest part of the entire dish, for we have rice pagao. And the chicken is thoroughly cooked and falling off the bone. All we have to do is stir the sauce to thicken it, and our Spanish chicken and rice is ready to serve. This dish was easy to make and not expensive, and it's made in many homes on weeknights when you need to serve a lot of people without a lot of effort. I'll certainly be making this again, and I do hope you give it a try. Dishes like this are why it's great to try new things, and especially local places to eat, because you're not likely to find this at your local mall food court. So try something different, and there's a good chance you may discover something you'll keep coming back for time and time again, especially when it comes to something like arroz con gandules. Thank you for watching.